There has been a lot of buzz around these little speakers, the D-Max Supercube 5, and today I want to figure out if it's just a hype or if there is really something going on. So let's get started. When it comes to speakers, I'm super picky, and that's mainly caused by Leonard, who showed me precision monitoring, which I ended up buying. It's these huge speakers in the wall. And when I was testing speakers for this new setup, I actually rejected a lot of famous brands. One set of speakers I always enjoyed using are these, the Avantone Mix Cubes. And I think that the power of the Mix Cubes lay in its simplicity. I mean, it's just one speaker in a box, no crossover filter, no other stuff going on. It's just a simple point source monitoring speaker. Now, to be clear, I'm talking here about speakers to be used as a monitoring tool, not talking about speakers for home usage for leisure. Some people really need a lot of clarification. Now, Avantones are really great, but they are pretty limited in their frequency response, and that's something that D-Max tries to solve with their Supercubes. And if you're looking at it, you can already see a difference. First of all, these ones are a bit bigger, and they're using a completely different driver. But that's only half of the story of what is really going on. With Avantones, you can choose your own amplifier, which is a whole circus on its own, or you can go for the one with the built-in amplifier. With the Supercubes, you cannot choose your own amplifier. It is actually delivered in the package as a rack mount amplifier. And the amplifier is not just there to deliver the watts, amps and other hobbits that a speaker needs to function. There's also a DSP in there. And I am a huge fan of DSP on speakers. Yes, you heard that right. I really like analog in music productions, but the thing that I like about analog equipment, which is its imperfection, is something that I actually do not want to have on a monitoring setup. I actually want to have precise adjustments on my monitors. And I know that I'm attacking a lot of audio purists that think that audio should never be digital or converted or whatever, but we're talking about tools here. Anyway, what the DSP is doing is basically adding a lot of oomph and to the speakers, which is the exact area that the Avantones are missing. And that way this cube speaker is transformed from a mix check speaker into a full-fledged monitoring system. Now do keep in mind that these only cost 800 euros for a set, and they are very small, so don't expect wonders from it. They are already creating some kind of magic for that 800 euros, but you cannot push it towards high SPL levels because there's only so much that actual physics will allow us to do. Now, the reason people use the original Mix Cubes, and I actually have one, an original over here, an original Auratone Mix Cube, is because mixes made on them translate really well to the outside world. And one of the important parts of why speakers translate very well to the outside world is because of precision. Most of all, timing precision. I actually think timing precision is more important than magnitude precision. The whole all frequencies should be at the same level. Like, that's important, but timing is way more important. And naturally, these Mix Cubes are already very precise from a timing perspective. And I'm happy to say that the timing precision has persisted on the Supercubes. So you still have the benefits of the original Mix Cubes, but now all of a sudden they're almost full range. And for 800 euros, I actually think that the Supercubes are one of the best speaker purchases you can make. However, I do want to add a few things to give you all a better view on this subject. First of all, the Supercubes do not cover the whole frequency spectrum. Like, they don't really go lower than 50 Hertz. So one of the solutions would be adding a subwoofer to them. That would be kind of stupid because that takes away the whole timing precision thing. So I would always recommend a secondary monitoring option to cover those lower frequencies. And that can be less precise, but can be your checker for the low frequencies while you can fully mix the track on the Supercubes. Another thing to note is that they are very sensitive for placement. You have to angle them almost directly to your ears, and the sweet spot zone in which they radiate the frequencies towards you is very, very narrow. This is really something to be aware of because it's way more narrow than you're used to from other speakers. At the distance that I have them, if I move my head for like 20 centimeters, the whole high frequencies will go away. Now, speaking of the high frequencies, whenever I switch from quasar to the mix cubes, I do hear a weird filtering effect in the high frequencies. And on a measurement, it actually looks like this. And it looks the same on different measurements that I took on different places, different rooms, different situations. It really is something that is in that cube, and I don't really understand why it's in there. However, it wasn't really annoying me. Upon switching, I noticed it, but my ears get used to it pretty quickly. After 2 or 3 minutes, it sounds very natural. Now, I don't know if that is normal, but if you are sensitive for these type of things, Supercubes might not be for you. Another thing to think about is that I've used the Aventone mix cubes a lot to have a bit calmer sound as well. Because of the limited frequency response of the Aventone, they sounded very calm and natural to me, and I could mix way longer on them because of that. And that is something you cannot do with the Supercubes because they have a full range spectrum. Now, something that I would like to see added in a version 2 of these speakers is digital inputs on the amplifier, because right now you can only go in there with analog XLRs. And I would also love to see native support for room correction or engineer correction, EQ, or maybe even more settings, so that you can, for instance, fix that high frequency bump if you don't want to have it. Now, I'm going to link to DMAX in the description down below, where you can learn more about the Supercubes. And if you really like them, you can order them through that link as well. That link will be a direct link. I'm not affiliated with DMAX at all. And speaking about that, I want to answer the question that a lot of trolls and haters are going to ask in the comments, but probably won't watch the video long enough to hear the answer. And that is how much I did get paid to make this video. Whenever I like a product, people think that I get paid, but the answer is €0. €0, and they actually sent me the Supercubes just to ask me what I thought of them. I decided to make this video to spread the word because, as said, these are ones of the best performing speakers I've tested, and I've tested a lot of stuff. Now, how much I'm going to make of this video really depends on the amount of views, the amount of people that use my affiliate links to these stores, so Thomann, Sweetwater and Plugin Boutique, which will also be down in the description, or the amount of members that will sign up for my channel. Members get early access to videos and access to a lot of playlists, for instance this one, so make sure to check it out. And if you're not a member and still want to support the channel, you can also consider watching this video. Thanks a lot for watching, keep pushing, and bye bye.